The most honest conversations you have are with yourself in the dark, when the world is asleep. But have you ever noticed that this is also when the mind is most cruel? It tells you truths you'd rather not hear, wrapped in fears you can't escape. Why does the part of you that's supposed to be your sanctuary become a cage at night? The answer isn't as simple as overthinking. It's a fundamental design flaw in our consciousness. At night, the noise of the day fades. The distractions, the tasks, the social masks, they all fall away. You are left alone with the raw, unfiltered machinery of your mind. This is not a malfunction. It is the machine running as intended, without its usual governor. The silence of the night doesn't bring peace. It creates a vacuum, and your mind, hating a void, rushes to fill it with the heaviest things it can find: regrets, anxieties, and unresolved conflicts. This is the nightly ritual of the psyche, a self-audit where you are both the accountant and the one whose accounts are in ruin. Two psychological specters haunt these quiet hours. The first is what psychologists call counterfactual thinking. This is the mind's tendency to create alternative realities. What if I had said this? What if I hadn't made that choice? During the day, you can dismiss these thoughts, but at night, they become vivid simulations. Your mind forces you to watch films of your failures, but with different endings where you could have won. This isn't for learning. It's a form of self-punishment, a reminder of the gap between who you are and who you could have been. The ego, wounded by the day's compromises, seeks to reassert control by endlessly replaying the past, a ghost director in an empty theater. The second specter is the Zeigarnik effect, the mind's obsession with incomplete tasks. An unanswered email, an unspoken feeling, a goal not yet reached. These are not just items on a to-do list. At night, they become open loops, psychic wounds that refuse to close. Your mind circles them like a vulture, convinced that if it just worries enough, it can somehow find a resolution. But it never does. It only deepens the anxiety. It's the mind trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces, a frantic, futile effort that generates heat but no light. It's a self-sustaining engine of unease, convincing you that restlessness is progress. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you." At night, you are not fighting external monsters. You are staring into your own abyss. The thoughts that arise are not invaders, they are you. The fears, the insecurities, the dark impulses, they are all parts of your internal landscape. The nightly betrayal isn't a betrayal at all. It is an introduction. Your mind is showing you what it's made of, forcing you to confront the shadows you politely ignore in the daylight. Consider a person lying awake. Let's call him Alex. During the day, he is competent, confident, admired. He makes decisions, leads a team, and moves through the world with an aura of control. But at 3 a.m., Alex is a different entity. He's staring at the ceiling, and his mind is playing its favorite movie, a highlight reel of every mistake he has ever made. A missed business opportunity from 5 years ago feels as raw as if it happened this morning. A careless word to a friend a decade past echoes with fresh shame. His mind isn't trying to help him, it is dissecting him piece by piece, reminding him that his daytime persona is a fragile construct, a carefully built dam holding back a flood of perceived inadequacies. The darkness doesn't create these thoughts, it simply gives them the stage they've been waiting for. Alex, the leader, is an illusion. The man staring at the ceiling is the reality, and here is the turning point. You have been listening to this, perhaps seeing yourself in this scenario, thinking about how your own mind plays these tricks on you. But what if they aren't tricks? What if the you that suffers at night is more real than the you that smiles, works, and socializes during the day? We build our identities on sand, on the approval of others, on our achievements, on the roles we play. We call this our self, but the night strips all that away. The mind isn't betraying you. It's revealing a truth you spend all day running from. Your sense of self is a performance. The nightly anxiety is the friction between the actor and the role. The unease is the terror of realizing the script is running out. Carl Jung believed that one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Your mind isn't your enemy in the dark. It is a merciless teacher, holding a mirror to the parts of you that you have disowned. The pain you feel is the pain of reintegration, the agony of becoming whole. We seek control during the day, believing that if we can manage our world, we can manage our minds. But at night, the illusion shatters. You cannot command your thoughts. You cannot reason with your fears. You are not the king of your inner kingdom. You are merely a resident. The freedom you crave isn't found in silencing the mind, but in surrendering to its chaos. To watch the parade of fears and regrets without judgment, as a detached observer. This is not peace. It is a higher form of tension, a conscious coexistence with the abyss. So the next time you find yourself awake in the dead of night, your thoughts circling like sharks, don't try to fight them. Don't seek distraction. Just watch. Observe the intricate, terrifying, and beautiful machinery of your own consciousness at work. This is not a sign that you are broken. It is a sign that you are awake. The nightly ordeal is not about solving your problems. It is about realizing what the problem is. And the problem has always been the illusion that you were ever in control. The darkness isn't where you get lost, it's where you are found. Have you ever noticed how the night turns your mind into a theater of horrors? The day's logic dissolves, and in the silence, anxieties you dismissed under the sun return as monsters. You lie awake, and your own thoughts begin to betray you. Why is the mind, your supposed sanctuary, so skilled at becoming your own private tormentor when darkness falls? This isn't a malfunction. It's a design feature, a cruel trick of consciousness. The night is a crucible for the self. When the distractions of the world fade away, you are left alone with the raw, unfiltered mechanisms of your own psyche. This is where the mind's darkest games are played. It's not about ghosts or external threats. The most terrifying predator is the one that lives inside your own skull, using your memories as weapons and your hopes as bait. We fear the dark, not because of what's in it, but because of what it allows to come out of us. The silence of the night doesn't create these thoughts. It simply removes the noise that was drowning them out. One of the mind's most potent tricks is what psychologists call catastrophic thinking. During the day, a small worry, a missed email, an odd look from a colleague is easily managed. But at night, your brain, untethered from rational checks, takes this small seed of doubt and nurtures it into a full-blown disaster. It rehearses failure, it simulates loss, it constructs elaborate scenarios of ruin from the flimsiest of evidence. This isn't just you being negative, it's your mind's primitive threat detection system, hijacked and running wild in the absence of real data. It creates a phantom enemy to fight, and in this battle, you are both the soldier and the battlefield. You are training for a war that will never happen, but you feel every wound. The mind is not your friend in these moments. It is a cold strategist testing your breaking point. This nightly descent into chaos was observed by the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who wrote, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you." At night, you are forced to gaze into your own abyss. The fears you suppress, the regrets you bury, they are the monsters. And as you wrestle with them, your mind becomes a reflection of that darkness. You start to see threats everywhere, even in places of safety. The mind, in its effort to protect you from imaginary dangers, isolates you in a prison of your own making. It becomes the very abyss it was trying to warn you about. Is free will even a factor when your own consciousness works against you? Or are you simply a puppet, dancing to the strings of ancient primal fears? Consider the story of an architect. By day, he designs magnificent, stable structures, symbols of order and control. He is a master of logic, materials, and physics. But at night, alone in his bed, he is haunted by visions of his own buildings collapsing. He sees hairline fractures spreading like veins, foundations turning to dust, and the triumphant applause of the opening ceremony turning into screams of terror. He replays every calculation, every blueprint, tormented by the possibility of a single fatal error he might have missed. The very mind that can construct a skyscraper becomes the force that mentally demolishes it night after night. The source of his greatest pride becomes the source of his deepest dread. His creations, meant to defy gravity, become symbols of his inevitable fall. His mind is not trying to help him find a mistake. It's trying to make him feel the weight of responsibility, the crushing burden of a creator. Here is the twist that turns the knife. You might think this is about anxiety or an overactive imagination. But the truth is darker. The mind doesn't just invent fears, it uses them to maintain a sense of control. When you are lying awake, obsessing over a future catastrophe, you are engaging in a ritual. By imagining the worst, you feel as though you are preparing for it. This illusion of preparedness is a powerful sedative. It's a form of self-sabotage that masquerades as vigilance. Your mind isn't betraying you by accident. It's a deliberate, albeit subconscious, strategy. As Robert Greene noted in The 48 Laws of Power, one must master your emotions. But what happens when the emotion is a tool used by your own mind to control you? You believe you are the one thinking these thoughts, but perhaps the thoughts are thinking you. You are not the master of this internal domain. You are merely its first subject. This nightly ritual is not a sign of weakness. It is a glimpse into the raw, untamed nature of consciousness itself. The mind, stripped of its social mask, reveals its true essence, a relentless engine of simulation. It runs simulations of the past, present, and future, not to find truth, but to explore every shadow of possibility. It is a realm where good and evil are not moral positions, but strategic variables in a game of survival. The fear you feel is not an error in the system. It is the system operating exactly as intended. It keeps you sharp, but it also keeps you caged. The freedom you seek during the day is paid for by the chains you forge at night. So, the next time you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., heart pounding as your mind parades a gallery of your worst fears, do not try to fight it. Do not try to reason with it. Simply observe it. Watch this dark theater unfold as a detached spectator. Recognize the cold, impersonal intelligence at work. This is not you. This is the ancient, primal machine within you, running its nightly diagnostics. It is testing its power, and in doing so, revealing the illusion of the self you hold so dear. You are not the architect of your thoughts. You are merely the ghost that haunts the house your mind has built. The real horror is not what you're thinking, it's that you ever believed you were the one in control.